Hi, my name is Mike at SideEffects, and today we'll be going over the Copy to Points node. So let's drop down a geometry container and get started. Give ourselves a Copy to Points node, and right off the bat it throws an error at you. And that's because if you mouse over the inputs, you can see it's expecting primitives to copy as well as target points to copy too. So let's drop down a grid, plug it into the target points input, and then a box, and plug it into the primitives input. And now our box has been copied to all the points of the grid. Now coming in here, you can see the source group input, and this allows you to specify which group of primitives that you'd like to copy. So if we drop down a group by range, stick it under our box, change this to something like target, and then group one of every two primitives. Let's visualize that so you can see what that's looking like. Just those two. Now come back here, change this to target, and you can see that we've only copied the primitives that we specified over here in this group node. Now right beneath that is the target points input, and it serves the exact same purpose, but for your incoming points. So we can actually just copy this group node, come up here, change this from primitives to points, and stick it in. And now we come back here, change this to target as well, and now we're only copying to the points that we've specified. Now right underneath that is the Show Guide Geometry option, and this simply shows an outline of the geometry that you're copying to. Check it off and it goes away. It's just for visualization purposes. Now right underneath that is the Pack an Instance option, but you'll see that if we check it, it immediately throws an error at us. And that's because Houdini is only able to pack an instance whole geometry. And since we've taken some chunks out of our boxes here, it doesn't really like what we're doing. So we come up here to Source Group, remove that selection, and now we're able to pack and instance our geometry perfectly fine. You can see you can change the pivot location, can swap between origin and centroid, as well as change the display options. So you can go to bounding box, centroid. All right, and right beneath that is the transform using point orientations option. Now if we were to uncheck this and then rotate our grid, you can see that the boxes are not rotating with the points. They're simply staying put. If you don't like that, you can just keep this checked, and now our boxes have inherited the orientation of our incoming points and snapped so that they are flush with our grid. Now right beneath that, lastly, is the Copy Points Attributes option, and this does exactly what you'd think it would. It takes attributes on your incoming points and it copies them to their respective geometry. So if we were to give each point on this grid, let's say a random color, you can see that it's already been updated, and now each copy has the color of the point that it is copied to. If you uncheck this box, no attributes are copied and it stays perfectly clean. You can also see, however, that you can control where and how the attributes are copied. So you can copy them to point, primitive, or vertex, and you can either set them, multiply them with incoming values, or add them to existing values, or even subtract them from incoming values. This is simply telling Houdini to copy every attribute, and that's what this asterisk means, copy everything, and then the carets in front of these other attributes say except that attribute. So this is setting everything except velocity, alpha, and normal. And so if you have certain attributes that you'd like to copy and others that you don't, you can also come in here, separate out with a comma, type in caret, and then CD for color. And now it is copying everything except the specified attributes, which now includes color. Now if you want your color attribute on your primitives but not your points, you can simply come down here, type in CD, and now the color has been copied to the primitives but is kept clean from the points. This has been the Copy to Points node. Thank you for watching.